When you have finished this topic, you should be able to do the following. Explain what tabs are. Identify situations where tabs are useful. Set up tabs in a document using the ruler. Use tabs to lay out text and figures. And remove tabs from a document. Tabs are very useful non-printing characters that allow you to neatly align columns of text and figures in a document. There are different types of tabs that allow you to align text and figures in various ways. You can use tabs to create simple lists. Tabs can be used to align numbers in a table of contents, or line up decimal places in a list of figures. Another use of tabs is to center text in a particular position on a line. When you're lining up items in a list in this way, it's not a good idea to type lots of spaces instead of using a tab. Not only is it tedious to type just the right number of spaces for each item, but it also causes problems if you want to change something later. We want to work with the tabs now, but first we need to turn on the horizontal ruler. Viewing the ruler makes it easier to work when using tabs. We've used tabs to make sure that the columns in this barbecue shopping list line up neatly and are easy to read. The tabs we've used in this case are left tabs, so that the text lines up along the left side of the column headings. These markers on the ruler show the position on the page where the tabs have been placed, each one marking the starting point for a column. These tab markers are known as tab stops, and left tab stops like these are easy to recognize, as they look like the letter L for left. We've completed the list for the vegetables that are needed, so now let's create a similar list for the meat. We'll do this in a separate document. We'll start by setting up left tab stops on the ruler at the positions we want to line up the price and quantity columns for our new list. To do this, we click the ruler where we want the first tab to be positioned. This will be the starting point for the quantity column. Next, we need to insert the tab stop for the price column at 7 centimeters on the ruler. Please do this now. That's great. The tab stops have been set up. And now we're ready to use them to create neatly lined up columns of text. We've added the headings for each of the columns for the list, so now all we need to do is enter the items that we have to buy. We'll start by entering the first item on the list, sausages. When we add the quantity, we want it to be aligned under the quantity column. To do this, you press the Tab key on your keyboard. Now we can enter the quantity of sausages that we need. Next, we need to use the Tab key to tab to the next tab stop and enter the cost of the sausages, which is £38. Please tab across to the tab stop and enter the amount 38.00. Very good. Our first entry is perfectly lined up with the column headings. When you press the Enter key to move on to a new line, the tab markers are carried over to the next line too. Please go to the next line now. That's correct. Now, in exactly the same way, we can add the second item to our shopping list, using the Tab key to line up the different columns. If you want to adjust the position of a column, all you have to do is select the text and drag the tab stop to a new position on the ruler. We've finished creating our shopping list, so now we want to remove the tabs that we created. First, we need to move the insertion point onto the next line of the document, so we don't remove the tab stop from our final list item. Please move the insertion point to a new blank line now. That's correct. Now we can safely remove the tab stop without affecting the layout of our list. To remove a tab, we simply click it and then drag it off the ruler. Try it for yourself now. Remove the remaining tab stop from the ruler. That's correct. The tab stop has disappeared from the ruler, and the tab stops we set up earlier no longer apply to this paragraph. Instead, this paragraph will take on the standard tab settings. The small grey marks along the bottom of the ruler show how these are positioned. So, if you press the Tab key now, the insertion point would jump to this mark on the ruler.